Greetings, kings, queens, in-betweens, and neither beings. It's been a while. I quite like that. I think I'm gonna keep that. I didn't have anything. Usually something happens for the cold open, you know, but like nothing. I can't think of anything. So why don't you just pretend that I did something fucking hilarious and it was like a cool monologue and it was like, oh, that's great. What a funny thing Jesse just said. Now we can get to the episode. Okay, cool. Right. Small life update. My career has been fucking popping lately, and I'm very excited about it. It just got announced that I'm going to be in The Flame. I'm playing Harold in that. I'm very excited to play them. That's a thing. I've been a huge theater nerd my entire life, and now I'm in an original queer musical, and dreams, they do come true. I'm also playing Elliot in Sparrow Archives, the audiobook, and I've been recording for that the last couple weeks, and that's been a fucking blast. Y'all, Elliot is one of my favorite characters that I've ever played, honestly. I am so fucking excited for y'all to get to see. I was about to say see. Here, you can see it with your ears, you know. I am recording this a couple days before October 28th, so that's my birthday, and it's my champagne birthday, or golden birthday, or whatever you want to call it. I'm turning 28 on October 28th, so that's what the... I talked about that on Twitter, and people were like, oh man, I didn't know about that. I turned, like, my birthday was on, like, the 2nd or something, so they had their champagne birthday when they were, like, a baby. Oh, my cat's playing with a little mouse. It's a toy mouse, don't worry. Can we see, what are you doing? You're making so much noise. Buddy, couldn't you have done this, like, 5 minutes before I recorded? Oh. Let me see, I'm not wearing pants. Okay, I have it. You get this back after. Anyway, with my birthday coming up, it got me thinking, like, about life and about everything. Y'all, being trans is weird for a number of reasons, but also just the fact that I'm turning 28, I'm approaching 30, I look 14, I'm going through puberty. What is even happening? I feel like I'm a teenager and I never know who I am or what I am at like any given time. I've been on T long enough that I accept like I'm experiencing a lot less dysphoria. I rarely experience dysphoria nowadays, which is tight. Definitely recommend it. But I still get this feeling that like I had a hard reset on life and now I have to go to high school, but I don't have to go to high school. I already did it. You're saying I just get to be in the body that I want and be an adult and live my life, live mas, as Taco Bell would say. I get to just make stupid videos on the internet and voice act and write my show, and this is what I get to do as a career because I've already built it up over the years and built my career from the ground up. That fucking rules. I am so fortunate that I get to do this for fun, for money. What? Yes. If you're a patron of mine, legit, you are one of the reasons I wake up in the morning. Like, I am so fucking pumped to make shit. I love making shit. But this is a topic for an episode that I have wanted to do for a while, and so let's get to it. I have gotten the question a lot from myself and also from other people. Would you have rather been born cisgender? If I could go back, if I could ideally just like be born in the cis male body and start my life from there, would I do it? And for so fucking long, my answer was yes, absolutely. I would much rather have been born cis. I wouldn't have gone through all the suffering that I did and currently do, all the hardships that I go through, all the garbage. I would love to just take that easy route, you know? Have my brain match my body? What a novel idea. But I do not believe that anymore. I am someone who is a big believer in no regrets. I live my life with no regrets. If I do something stupid or immature or fucked up, it has helped me on this timeline be who I am. You know, there's multiple, I'm obsessed with fucking timelines. That's one of my shits that I love in movies, any piece of media, really. But in this timeline where I am trans and all of the events happened, even though things sucked for a while, and things do still suck in a lot of ways, I would not go back. I would not have rather been born cis. Now it's time to unpack that. Being born trans teaches you so much fucking empathy. Like, I was not a good person when I thought that I was cisgender. And this is not to say that cisgender people are like evil or bad or anything. It's just they have a disadvantage in that department specifically. Because when you are born as what society deems as the default, the default mode, create the character, you know, in video game, this is the standard, anything that isn't this is weird, quote unquote. When you are that, it is really easy to miss stuff. I am super white passing, so I just consider myself white most days. And I missed a lot of shit. I miss a lot of racist stuff that like I just go back in my mind and I think, wow, that was fucked up. Most media, most interactions with people that are not white, like school. You ever think about all the racist weird shit that happened in school? Why weren't the teachers stopping any of this? Oh, right, because they are also the default setting and they miss shit too. Y'all, it's a fucking cycle. We can dig into that, but I'm trying to, let's focus, Jesse. If I was not born trans, I would be transphobic. I'm pretty damn sure, because years ago when I thought that I was cisgender, I was transphobic, even if I didn't know it. Because being transphobic has layers. There's microaggressions. It's not just like the definition of transphobia is not just being like, I hate trans people or him committing a hate crime or some shit, you know? It's not just that. It's also like, yeah, it's cool if you're trans, but like, why do you have to rub it in people's faces? Like that kind of shit. Back in my fuckboy days, pre-transition, I was kind of a piece of shit. I had a lot of toxic positivity and if you don't know what toxic positivity is, Google it. There's people who could explain that a lot better than me. A very quick, abridged definition is being so upbeat and positive that you're not solving problems. You're not dissecting things in a positive quote unquote way. It's like you're being so positive that you're not being positive. You're not being productive, I guess is a better way of saying that. Like if a friend of mine is black and they're like, I had a weird racist interaction today and I was just like, oh, don't worry about it. Think positively. Maybe go for a run. That is not helpful. That is not productive. And I don't know that because I'm living in my own little fucking bubble where no one has beaten me down for being black because I'm not black. I do not know what it feels like to be black. I can relate in ways, but it's not going to be an 100% like, Khaleesi, hi. I'm talking about racism. I'm sorry, my cat. You're just a little baby. Everything's happening. I had to put pants on for that. How dare they? This is quarantine. There are no pants in quarantine. Fuck, where was I? Racism. Back when I was a too positive douche, I was also miserable inside, which is such a funny contradiction. I didn't know I was trans, so I was just miserable, just crying every day. I was not a happy person. But you couldn't tell because like online I had this kind of persona of like, what's up, bitches, sex. And now my persona is, haha, women, sex. Maybe sometimes dudes, maybe sometimes people who aren't either. I don't know. I enjoy not wanting to die every day. I don't miss that. Where was I? Racism. I'm not black. I can be racist by accident because I don't know things. There we go. Sum it back up. And in the same vein, I did not know how bad trans people actually had it until I realized I was trans. Like, y'all, we have it so bad. What the fuck? People come out of the woodwork just to be transphobic. It's so weird. It's so weird. And sometimes it's sexual, and sometimes it's just, I don't know. It's mostly cis dudes who want to fuck trans men and are trying to pretend that they're women, so it feels less weird. And with trans women, they're like, oh, you're just a dude in a dress because they don't want to sleep with them. It's all sexual, basically. Can everyone just mind their fucking business? No one is asking you to have sex with us. You are bringing that to the table. No one wants to talk about that. Are we gonna fuck? No? Well, we shouldn't know about each other's genitals then. My dick is tiny, but I love it. I went so long without one that now my little 1-inch erection, every time I see it, I'm like, attaboy. Go get him, champ. That's the only way I come. You have to say that. Jesus Christ. God, where was I? Racism. No, I wasn't. We were past that. Yeah, being trans just gave me such a crazy amount of empathy because I cannot run or hide from transphobia. I have to stare it right in the face. Coming out has shown me the absolute worst, most disgusting, cruel fucking things that people can say or do to a person. But it has also shown me the absolute best in people. There are people that I had no idea loved me who stood up for me in places and in ways that I never asked them to, and they just did it because they care about me and they care about trans people. And with all the dark shit, I really needed that light shit. I don't want to get too dark, but like, it's why our suicide rate is so high. It's so ridiculously high because a lot of trans people don't have the light and they only see the dark shit because of whatever situation they're in. You have to have light shit to balance out the dark, or you're just gonna think that there's only dark. And I thought that for a while. Because I was surrounded by transphobic people, I was transphobic in ways that I didn't realize. I cannot just be ignorant and keep liking Harry Potter and pretending that that's not gonna hurt someone. Yeah, J.K. Rowling might not benefit from like us buying a thing if it's just like the license or whatever, and they're like, don't worry, J.K. Rowling isn't getting any of our money. It doesn't matter because you're promoting that series and you are giving her a voice, whether you want it or like it or not. And if I wasn't trans, honestly, I think I would still be like super into Harry Potter. People of color have been telling us that Harry Potter sucks for years and we didn't listen. There is so much weird, racist, bad shit in these books that people can point to and give us specific examples, and I was still like, yeah, but I like it. So, because I was ignorant and white and I didn't give a shit. I like book. I didn't think it was hurting anybody, so therefore I can still like book. And now whenever one of my cis white friends does something related to Harry Potter, they have no idea that we are bothered by it because most of the time we've given up. We are exhausted. Queer people are exhausted. People of color are exhausted. Black people are fucking exhausted. If we tell you you're doing something shitty and you're like, wow, thanks for the info, and then just keep doing the shitty thing, or you try to justify like, well, I like Harry Potter, so I'm just gonna keep doing it. You don't win. Just because you post a picture of you in a Harry Potter costume or reading a book or whatever, and none of your trans friends say anything to you, that doesn't mean that we're okay with it. That means that we've given up on you. And personally, I think that's a worse feeling. I would feel so terrible if, like, I kept doing racist things and my friends gave up on me because they knew I wouldn't listen, because they were so tired. That is where toxic positivity takes the dip in the shit pond. I don't know where I'm going with this. So yeah, I'd still be a piece of shit if I was born cisgender. Because even when I came out as trans, I was still a piece of shit. I was still a fuckboy. I was just now a fuckboy that was growing a penis and facial hair. I had people in my life who took me aside and helped me. They didn't need to. They made me into the man I am today. They helped me be a fucking person because I was so ignorant. I cringe every day, just random memory of like, hey, remember that time that you said this weird thing or you did this weird thing or you had this bad opinion? And I am so fucking grateful. I'm so fucking grateful every fucking day for the people who made me into a good person because I needed that. And some people never get that and they never turn into a good person. They might think they're a good person, but they still have bad shit going on in their head that they're not unpacking. If I was born cisgender, I would be one of those guys that doesn't wear pink or florals, and I would still feel insecure about my body and all these things. I'd have all this toxic masculinity that I would never have to unpack or think about because I would surround myself with people who were the same as me. Now, I have to think about my dick every fucking day. What's it doing? Did I clean it right? All these things. I have to take care of it. I have to perform maintenance because I earned it. I earned this dick. I grew this dick myself. Cisgender dudes, they just get to have the dick when they enter the world. I have to put a chemical into my body that feeds my penis. I've earned these muscles. I've earned this facial hair. I've built myself from the ground up. And that's why my body means so much more to me now, because this was my choice. When it's the default setting, when you're already born into this body, sometimes you wake up and you're like, God, I hate myself. It takes work. It takes a lot of work for whether you're trans or cis. It takes work to love yourself. I've worked incredibly hard over, especially the last 2 years, to make myself into a person that I want to be around. I didn't love myself because I didn't deserve love. Or rather, that's what I thought. I don't know. That's a complicated question. Do you deserve love? I think everyone deserves love, but are you wasting your life, I guess is the question. Does your existence make other people's existence better? Because that's what I believe the meaning of life is to make the world a better place than before you came into it. That's my goal every day, is to just make the world a better place than it was that morning in the small little sphere that I can affect. And these are all thoughts that I don't think I ever would have had if I wasn't born trans. This life gives me such a unique perspective that I'm incredibly grateful for. I touched on this a little bit before, but a specific example I think about is meeting people at conventions or people who watch my videos or something like that. If they are engaging in my content, back in the day, I had no idea that they were bad people if they were. Now, there's no running from it. If you're transphobic, you're not gonna watch my content anymore. And there are probably so many fucking pricks that I met at conventions or engaged in some way that I had no idea they were transphobic or racist or homophobic. Because before, people engaged in my content back when I thought that I was female, you know, I was a lesbian, you know, like in my videos, that was my whole brand. And there were people who watched it. And when I transitioned, they were like, fuck you, kill yourself, you're going to hell, all this fucking shit. What happened? What happened? Well, as I would learn, lesbians get sexualized. Another thing I was just totally fucking oblivious to. It was fun and cute when they could sexualize me, but now that I don't want to kill myself anymore and I'm happy and confident and have a dick, they're like, it's not sexy anymore. Which is so ironic because I did not know that I was attracted to men until I grew my dick, and then horny brain took over and I was like, well, people are hot, so now I'll fuck them. But now they don't want me. It's funny. It's so funny. And that's such a fucking blessing to know, because I don't want people engaging in my content who are pieces of shit. If you're racist or homophobic or transphobic, don't watch my videos. Don't give me money. Don't follow me on Twitter. Fuck you. I hate you. And I'm sure if you're this far into the video, you are not any of those things. But I am so grateful that I am trans because, like I said, I can't run from this. I have to stand with my feet firmly planted on the ground and say, this is who I am, and whoever's gonna watch my content, that's who it is. I'm not gonna try to convince a transphobe to fucking like me. I spent so much of my life convincing myself to like me. I don't have the time or the energy for you. I am finally here and living my best life and making the content that I want, and I finally have something meaningful to say. Before I was just fucking talking. I don't even know what I was fucking saying. Pre-transition, I made videos and I wrote things, but I never had anything to say. I always felt like there was something missing. I loved performing, I loved writing, I loved theater, but there was something that was just a little off. And now I found it. Now I've discovered what my spark was, what I needed in my fucking life. I have a passion and I have meaning in my fucking life now. And if you don't like that, if you would prefer that I didn't transition or that I killed myself instead of transitioning, you're legitimately a bad person. I went to Catholic school for like 11 or 12 years. I know all about that shit. All right, this is not good, bud. And it's extra cringy because I might have grown into one of those people. If I wasn't queer, I very well might be one of those people that's like, well, it's fine if you're gay, but like, why do you gotta rub it in our faces all the time? Why do you gotta get married? Why does everything have to be rainbow? What about straight pride? I'm proud of who I am, so why can't I be proud? It's because you're the fucking default setting, bud. That was my mindset. I was a piece of shit and I didn't know it. The Matrix is fucking real, bud. It was written by 2 trans women, and delve into it. Once you take that pill, once you know that you're trans, you can't go backwards. Once I learned how accidentally racist or homophobic or transphobic, whatever the fuck bad I was doing, I can't unsee it now. I actively have to fight for justice. I actively have to be a good person because I can't stand the thought of anything else. People call me a political activist now, and I'm just existing. I'm just trying to help other people exist. This should be how everyone is. When I date people, when I sleep with people, they're like, Jesse, you're a fantastic person, and I deny it every fucking time. I'm really bad at taking compliments, but that one specifically, I'm like, no, this should be the standard. Do not hold me to this like pedestal. Don't date or sleep with anyone who treats you worse than I do, because this should be the default. Being trans isn't all bad. There's a lot of bad shit that comes with it, especially if you experience dysphoria, but there should be trans joy. And I'm trying to work that more into my content. The show that I'm writing trans is not a bad thing. And sometimes it's really hard to see that. When you're living it, when people are seeing you as less than human, it's really fucking hard. But there are so many cool, good things that come with being trans, and it took me so fucking long to see that. I truly love myself for the first time in my life, and that's fucking wild. If you take one thing from watching this video, I hope it is that you are valid and you deserve love. If you're trans and you're watching this video and everyone in your fucking inner circle is transphobic and weird, that's not what the world is like. I promise you, there are good people out there because I've seen them. When I was at my lowest, when I felt so fucking alone, even after I decided to transition, there were moments where I wanted to kill myself, if I can be honest. Even then, even at my absolute lowest, there were people there who picked me up and I didn't ask them to. There are people out there who will care about you. There are people out there who will love you and you just haven't met them yet. And I am begging you to hang on, because if you're gone before you meet them, that's the worst tragedy that I can think of. Thinking about timelines and shit, This is the timeline that we're on right now. There are a bunch of timelines that branch off. There's a timeline where if I wanted to, I could just off myself tomorrow. But why would I do that? Because I'm working on my show, I'm video editing, I'm voicing in these projects that I was talking about before. I'm making so much shit that's going to help people and help other people hold on so they can get to the point where they are happy, so they can get to the point where they meet the people. All of this is fucking connected. My life has a purpose now, and that purpose is to help other people. And I love it. I absolutely love my job. The fact that I can sit here in my boxers with a weird cat and a doorbell and everything fucking happening in a couple days before my birthday, entering my 30s, the fact that I can sit here and talk alone to a camera to you, where you will see this later, but right now I just look like a crazy person. The fact that I can do this is the greatest gift of all, and I just want to help other people get to a point where they find the thing that they're passionate about, or they find a way to live life. Mas. I'm not sponsored by Taco Bell, I swear to God. I absolutely much rather would have been born trans, because now I get to do this. Sure, I could make videos before, but what kind of purpose did they have? Don't get me wrong, the stuff that I did before is wonderful, and I love that it taught me things that got me to this point, and I'm sure they helped a lot of people. But this is the stuff that fucking matters to me. I get messages all the time from people who are like, thank you for doing what you do because you get me through hard days. And that's more meaningful than all the fucking money in the world. I am personally funding my live action original show myself. Hopefully we're going to be shooting it next year. I don't know what's fucking happening with the world and everything, but in the future, I'm funding it myself because I would much rather make art than have money. And I am so fortunate that I am in the position that I can get rid of this money and exchange it for art and still be able to eat and keep the heat on. So why wouldn't I? It's a no-brainer to me. Why wouldn't I do that? I want to make things that help people and entertain people. And if I can do that, then that's all I have to do with my life. If I was born cis, I would not have had this passion. I wouldn't know the struggles of trans people. I know everything because I'm experiencing it in live right now. We're doing it live. I don't have to ask a trans man about his experience so that I can write about it because I'm experiencing it right now. Not every trans man's experience is going to be the same, but I can tell my story. I can do my shit. And that's what's important to me is art, but making art that is important to you. That's the number one thing. If I can make things that are important to me, if I can say words that are important to me and another person relates to it, that's the best fucking feeling. I would much rather have been born trans because this is the best version of me so far. This is the timeline where I get my shit together and I keep going and I keep improving myself. Being born trans also allows me to actually know how fucking women feel. I mean, I know how to... Yes, okay, it gives me I'm able to fuck cis women better because I know where the clit is. Yay! But besides the fucking, I have been in their shoes. I understand what it is like to be afraid of men. I know the vulnerability. I know what periods are like. I have a healthy understanding of boundaries and consent that a cis man, no offense to him, but he can't comprehend it just because he hasn't been in the shoes. You can teach him about it if he doesn't know about it and he'll get it. But it's different when you've actually been in that exact situation. When you've been in a feminine body and it's scary. Sometimes you don't know what to do. Sometimes you don't know what to say. And cis women know that they can be honest with me and talk to me. I have such a unique perspective that you can't buy with money. It is invaluable because it is mine. If I was born cis, there would be no stopping this fuckboy train. Look at my face. If I was born looking like this and with a penis, fuck, I would be such an asshole. I wouldn't give a shit about anyone. I would be so vain and a dumbass. God, I don't think there would be any stopping my dumbassery. My life would be so fucking different if I was born cis. In some ways it'd be good. I would have suffered a lot less. The world is a scary place because there are people who want to hurt me just for existing. And over time that thought can drive you mad. Just the constant pressure of that. But you can't think about that. You got to think about all the people who care about you and all the people who will care about you. I love myself and I love who I am. And I don't know if I would have achieved that otherwise. All that shit and all that suffering has made me so fucking strong. Nowadays, someone tries to hurt me and I'm like, you want to try to hurt me? You want to try to hurt me? I have hurt myself so much you can't even imagine. I have been forged in fire and blood and cum. No, don't say that. I have forged my own cub. I am more powerful than you could ever imagine. I think that's a line from Game of Thrones. Trans people are the toughest motherfuckers on the planet. And I get to see that firsthand every time I see any of my trans friends do fucking anything. And also anytime I look in the mirror or anytime I go to therapy and talk and think about all the shit that I've gone through just because I'm trans. We are so tough. We are so fucking strong. When you are fighting as much as we are on a daily basis, you can get tired. And we get so fucking tired. But even at our lowest, even at our most exhausted state, we are still a million times stronger than if we were born cis. And some people might disagree. Some people might be like, no, I would have rather been born cis. And that's totally up to them. Like I say in the beginning of these videos, I don't speak for all trans people. But once I realized this, once I flipped that switch, I can't have any other opinion. Yeah. If no one's already told you today, I love you. You're strong, you're valid, and I hope you're having a good day. There, you can have your fucking mouse back, you jerk. Once again, I would love to give a special shout out to my wonderful patrons. I'm saying things in twos today. I don't know what that is. Thank you so much for helping me make my videos. I'd like to give a special shout out to my silver sponsors, Dan Millington, Luke Rizik, Jean-Baptiste Roussi, Dane McRae, Alex Buhner, Pocket Jawa, Yvonne Herrera, Babelpon, Giselle Nera, and Andrew Dunn. I'd also like to give a special shout out to gold sponsors, Sam Bartram, Danielle Gormley, Marie Byrne, Brandon Young, Doran Trisky, and Frank. And last but certainly not least, my delicious, I was about to say, sure, yeah, fuck it, delicious diamond sponsors. Thank you so much. EPAM, Steve Streza, official PSI. Thank you. Once again, thank you for subscribing to my channel if you are, and if you're not, that's cool too. Join my Patreon. Okay, I love you. Goodbye.